Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, you know, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, you know. My managers, my kids that's not here. Really, everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just like, you know, having so much time invested into this, you know. And I am a smart guy. I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, you know. I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, you know, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, you know, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a, you know, bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. You know, I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know. I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that. You know, I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece, and I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, you know, I do things like I put millions of dollars back into my community for real. I really did. I did more than anybody ever did from my side, you know. But I understand, you know, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. You know, it's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, you know, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And having come up from where you came up from and living in and around that, you know that gangs are damaging to our community. And it may be that a whole lot of rap music and the rap industry is, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that that's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap. But whether it is fake or not, it has tremendous impact on kids and young people who think, this is cool, this is what I want to do, look at him, he's a millionaire, I can do that by being, a gangster in the streets. And that's not true. What you're likely to have happen to you if you're a gangster in the streets is you get shot, you get killed, or you get thrown in prison. And those are, by far the most likely outcomes. And, you've been in here watching the trial, and you've seen the pictures of Mr. Ryan posing with a gun as big as he is at 15 years old and going out and shooting and killing another teenager. And that's what gangs do, and that's unfortunately a lot of what rap music does. And if you are a modern day John Lennon, he might have rapped too in this day and age. I don't know, but I know you're talented, and even if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go, and that there are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. And, I know that happens for protection sometimes, but a much better way would be getting an education and hanging around with people who set a good example. And you be one of those people that sets a good example. All right, so that's my high horse on that. I could also go on. But I want you to try to be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right? All right, so it is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration in crafting my sentence. And in permitting a nolo plea to the RICO count and one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the nolo to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts, and for the remaining counts with which you are charged, I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions from the defense and a little bit of the special conditions suggested by the prosecution. On count one, the court sentence is 20 years to serve 5
minutes.
All right, we are continuing to follow the breaking news, the latest developments in the YSL RICO trial, a non-negotiated plea going on. Let's listen in.
You run consecutively. I'm going to run it consecutive to count one, but I am going to backload. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not commuted. That is 5 years to serve, and it's going to be run consecutively to count one, backloaded, by which I mean after you serve your 15 years of probation. If you have been successful on that probation, and I sincerely hope that you are, then at the end of that 15 years, I will commute the entire rest of any service portion of your sentence to time served. So I'll get to the end of it and give you the total sentence, but I'm also going to impose a $15,000 fine with regard to that count. Count 57, 20 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years probated, concurrent with count 1. Count 58, 10 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, balance probated, concurrent with count 1. 59, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. 60, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. Count 61, 5 years to serve, that is required to be also a consecutive sentence, so that's going to be run consecutively to count 56 and backloaded. Count 62, 10 years to serve, also required to be served consecutively, that's going to be consecutive to count 61, also backloaded. So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served. You are to remain on reporting status for the first half of your probation, active reporting for the first 7.5 years of your probation, and that is pursuant to OCGA 17-10-1, subsection 2, A2A. And Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, in order to keep him on
Once
reporting
again, this is a
status,
live look at the sentencing for a young thug in the Fulton County courtroom, and we have learned 40 years, however, 5 behind bars for this particular crime.
And we believe those may be commuted to years already served with 15 years probation. There is some time backloaded, but that is dependent on how successful he is during that probationary period.
Okay, so here I am coming live from sunny Santa Monica, California. Shout out to LA, man. I'm over here on the pier, man. What's up, bro? Thug has just got the fuck out, man. So, as you see in the clips, Young Thug officially, the YSL Rico case is over with. He got a hellified plea. 40 years, it sounds crazy at first, 40 years, but the stipulations are remarkable, as they always been in this whole case. From people getting 10 years of fucking probation, the Moontum, he done went back to jail. I mean, the case got so messy and it was so crazy, I couldn't even really keep up with it, especially me moving back to the West Coast. It got on East Coast time. I'm just happy that this shit is over with and that the taxpayers can, have their money and use their money for what they really want it to be, instead of this bullshit ass witch hunt / rapper clout chase trial. You know what I'm saying? But and Quay, well, let me say this, because if y'all been following the trial, Quay, which is another defendant, he took a plea for a murder for he ain't gonna do nothing but 2 years. He already got times. I think he got 7. He took a plea for 7 years and then time served. He got to do 2.5 more years or 3 years or something like that. So Quay took his first plea, and then Young Thug, say free Young Thug. He can't hear me, the agent. I was gonna see. He got earbuds in, but I bet you know who Young Thug is. So Quay took his plea day before yesterday, and right when I seen that, I already knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, Thug coming home. I just don't know when. It's any day now, a matter of time. But yeah, so Thug got 40 years to serve 5 years on his feet. But they gave him time served due to the 85% law and how much time he already served in there, and good time. So he don't have to do any time anymore, active physical time. But he has to do the other, like 15 on probation. And he has a bunch of wild stipulations. He has to do like 4 stop the violence. They gave him crazy stipulations, but the bottom line is he's coming. He's home. He's probably home right now. If he's not home right now, he'll be home in the morning, or I'm pretty sure. They say he can't be around Metro Atlanta, which how in the fuck can he be around his area? But if he took a plea. So I mean, honestly, for a RICO, this is like being the charge for a RICO. By him getting this time, that's better than the time that he could have got. So it's kind of like a win. Excuse me. It's getting chilly out this bitch. Thug home. We're going to see if he can. Now, they tricking him up now with all this damn time. We all know how the probation game go. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I was just telling the homie, it's better than being locked up. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is keep his nose clean. And really, they setting it up for him not to fuck up. Because if you got to do all these shows and all this anti-gang gun violence and you can't be in the city of Atlanta, all he going to be able to do is do his community service and all the other things and make music. You know what I'm saying? Be with his family. So I think Thug can do it. He sounds smart. You heard him in his whole statement. That was a very, very, very deep statement. You could tell he thought, he spoke clearly from his mind. Like he said, and this is a point that every young man come to. And you could be young, meaning 30-something too. You know what I'm saying? It's about your maturity and your growth. One day you just got to wake up and be like, hold on, man. I'm a grown-ass man, bro. Or I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, I know better than this, or I can do better than this, or I don't even got to follow the... You know what I'm saying? I'm over this shit. You know what I'm saying? I think he finally reached that point. So shout out to Thug. Shout out to Big Jeff. Shout out to Brian Steele. Big Brian. You know what I mean? The whole YSL. I told y'all that he was... and some of y'all might be like, he didn't beat it. He still got... Okay, but he didn't get 25 and 40 and 50 years. You feel me? All y'all that was leaving all them fucking comments talking about that he was going to get all this time. I told y'all. I told you. So leave some comments now, motherfucker. And what the fuck y'all got to say? I'm about to go smoke one and slack.
Yeah, I'm smoking gas, feel like I cute. Feel like I cute. Bitch, I'm smoking gas, I feel like I cute. I feel like I cute. Bitch, I'm smoking gas, I feel like I cute. Yeah, I feel like I cute. Bitch, I'm smoking gas, I feel like I cute. Yeah, I feel like I cute. I'm sipping that red solo like I cute. Yeah, I got all these bitches on.